Okay, so a clear message from my higher awareness. It's really wanting to come through me, so I'm going to record it now whilst it's fresh. And so it's in connection to, romantic relationships. And so I have been recently begun seeing someone, and let's just say that it's caused me a little bit of I've I felt a little bit kind of moments of feeling a little bit unbalanced, and I really sort of deeply and intuitively understand that, I've spent 3.5 years, on my own and not in a kind of an intimate relationship. And a lot of the work, let's say a lot of the inner work, a lot of the deep work and everything else that I've been working through, and the wounds and the realizations and identifying what's the program and what's not the program and what's truth and what's not truth, um, means that actually, having an opportunity to explore kind of an intimate relationship with someone for the first time, really, in a long time, it means that actually it's like, right, okay, so you've taken the learnings and the lessons, you've claimed to understand them, right, okay, so let's see if you can actually put that into practice. And this is the message that's coming through really strong. Now, me being me, I'm rather impatient, and I kind of, when I have questions, I want answers. And in general, most of the time when I ask my higher self a question, I really do get an answer, and I'm really really grateful for that. But at the same time, there's sometimes that you don't get an answer to your question, and I also the explanation that I'm given because of that is, we can't give you the answer to that, because if we give you the answer to that, it's going to interfere with the learning that you're going to that you have the possibility of gaining through this experience. And therefore you've got to go through the experience, and it's like, it's a little bit like, planning to sit an exam. It's like nobody can do that for you. You've got to put in the work, you've got to put in the studying, and then you get to do the practical. And when you do the practical, it's like, right, okay, you've passed that test. And so the way that it's been presented to me, so I'm being reminded of the things that I have learnt in regards to um, entering into, a kind of a courtship, or an intimate connection with another being. And there's lots of little parts of me, let's say, that are kind of like still echoes of the program, that want to come through. So, things like, it's normal. So we're going to use it's normal. It's normal as in, this is what a past or a previous version of me would have done. You meet someone, you like them, the chemistry's right, you're getting on well, and you kind of just, you begin to fall into, a bit of a pattern with this person. And that might be that you tend to, you always meet up with them at weekends because that's, your free time. Perhaps there's certain evenings that you just automatically go, right, these are the times we'll meet. You meet up and you tend to do the same things. And you fall into a routine with someone, in other words. On top of that, there are aspects like, there's a sort of a process to dating, isn't there? So it's like, okay, we've saw each other for a while, then the relationship might become sexual. Then, the relationship may become committed. So you have this commitment to each other where you're actually officially kind of in a relationship. Um, so on and so forth. You might then decide, right, okay, the next progression to our relationship is to move in together. The next progression is to get married, to have children. I'm not saying that all of those things are for everyone. Obviously, that depends on, what, obviously I've had my children, um, but you get what I'm saying. There's a natural kind of progression in accordance to the way we have been programmed, in accordance to the society in which we have lived in. And the picture that I'm getting really, really, really clearly is that that is not the way it's meant to be. And it's a little bit like this. It's like, yes, of course you can make a connection with someone, but all expectations, all needs, um, all wants, really, in a lot of ways, we need to recognize that a lot of these come from that program and come from the ego and come from like a place of lack inside. And that regardless of whether we decide to see someone or not, we're never really, if we are really surrendered and we're really connected into our guidance, we're never really in control of one day to the next. So let me explain a little bit further about what I mean by that. Is that yes, I could contact, I could meet someone, I could begin to, spend some time with someone, but really when we're surrendered and we're in the flow of the divine, every single day we should be tuning in to what is right, what's in our highest aspect, rather than allowing the habits and routines set in place. And if each day we wake up and we tune in and we ask, what should I be doing today? If what you should be doing that day is having some time to yourself, perhaps doing some creative activity, perhaps doing something else that is as part of your purpose, then you should really be following that guidance. Perhaps you need a bit more self-care or some self-reflection time. It may well be that you wake up another day and you had planned on having time to yourself, but actually the divine guidance says that no, actually, today's a day where you should be connecting with this person. Um, and so you're getting into this flow state of kind of like you're not planning ahead. And I think that's the most important thing. There's no plans or expectations for what is to come. Um, and even if, this courtship, let's say, um, through divine guidance, stands the test of time. So let's say a year later, you've been following this flow and it seems that this person, is still in your life, and obviously the connections grew stronger, and, you're probably really, really, really deeply understanding, knowing that where this person's at, etc., etc. That does not mean that you might wake up and your calling is to then move into a different direction. Does that mean that you close down let's call it a relationship? Does that mean that you close down the relationship? Well, again, that would depend on the guidance. Does that mean that you lose your connection? Well, no, it shouldn't mean that. It shouldn't mean that you lose your connection. Again, I think that this whole, when you disconnect from someone and you stop speaking to them and everything else, that's all based on wounding and codependency and expectation and everything else, and an inability to hold your own space as well, and that I need this person in my life, and if they're not in my life, well, I don't know who I am. So, and this is just running right through me right now. I'm not, it just seems to be a really strong message that's coming through me. And so it's kind of like let's say, for example, you meet someone and they are actually they are your divine counterpart. Um, there's a plan, there's a plan for you both. And in my understanding, and I'm getting it really, really strong, where there's a divine counterpart, there's normally a service to others plan, because when two people come together in union in that way, it's really, really, really powerful. And so let's say there is a plan, let's say there is a mission, let's say there is a divine counterpart, and let's say you did even end up cohabiting together. So this person is very much part of your everyday life. And so you don't have to check in for guidance as to, should I see this person today? Then you're just making sure that you still respect your own needs and your own boundaries, and you're kind of flowing. You might be in the same space, but you're still flowing in your own divine guidance throughout that. The message is still that there may be that at one or the other of you may be called to go and do some work somewhere else, and that work might be, you might be taken off for a year and have to separate from this divine counterpart. And again, if you're really trusting and following the divine, and you're really, really anchored into your purpose and the reason why you're being here, that's something that, yes, okay, it's okay to feel a little bit like perhaps sad that you might not see them for a while. But again, the message keeps going back to that you're so strong in your own light that, you are unshakable. You know that beyond this human form, that they're always with you. They're with you now, even if you don't think that you've met them yet, is the other message. It may well be that actually your divine counterpart can do more work on the other side. So they may physically leave this plane, and then you have to accept that you are here, and your divine counterpart